And as we were discussing that the radical nature of Bhimayana, it becomes much more clearer if we look at a similar panel from earlier Amar Chitrakatha. This is from Vasvi Oza's article on Bhimayana, and as you can see, the panel is very different. You will have a line here and the speech bubbles are very different compared that to the on the right hand side what is the representation from Bhimayana itself of a similar scene, right? So the scene that we just read out. Here you have clearly laid out words and you read, and it's a very fairly straightforward way of representation which is realistic. You can see the face here, the hands and everything, and also the location itself is being done in a particular way which adheres to a more comics version in that sense from Amar Chitrakatha on Ambedkar itself. So, the similar scene where he is denied water, Bhim held out his cupped palms obediently but he was hurt. What is wrong with me? Why should I be treated differently is what Bhim thinks about, and he drinks water. So, but then in Bhimayana, the reader is more likely to spend time reading the panel because of the colors. In some panel you will see the colors are not there because we are talking about a desert, the village which turns a desert the moment the Dalit asks for water because Dalits are denied water, right? So, and the panels are, some panels are very barren, very there is no background color at all. It's there is a lack of color. If actually you will see a hard copy of it, the colors come out much better. This PDF lacks some of those things here, but what you get to see is that the reader is forced to, in that sense, engage with the visual. The intriguing visuals by the Gond artist capture the reader's attention in a way that the written text, which basically provides literal narration of the story, becomes just an instrument to provide information. So, you read these words just to find information. Otherwise, the story here itself, or the way that it is done, you start paying attention to the page itself, the and then it turns into a pictorial text, what critics have called it. So, so in that way, Gond art makes us a very different kind of readers, especially when you look at and pay attention to things like the other actors in the scene itself. So, if you look at the Amar Chitra Katha itself, it's not as if the lota or the thing from which water is being poured, that has emotions. But here, it seems everybody is participating in the action itself. So, you have the hand pump also getting angry because Bhim is denied water. So, you have multiple actors who are participating in this entire scene itself, in the movement itself. So, it's not then just becomes a straightforward narrative about Bhim being denied water. It also brings in histories of oppression, the history of Dalit struggles and exploitations and caste oppressions itself, the hierarchy of caste in India, but also it brings the history of Gond art itself. So, you have a multi-layered text which is what Bhimayana is. If we continue with the trope of, as we saw, trope of water itself, young Bhim being denied water, it becomes much more acute when we know that his father is actually building a tank in Goregaon. There, my father in Goregaon is helping build a water tank for famine-stricken people who would die if it went for his work. And here I can't get a work, get water to drink at school. And you can see again the fish metaphors coming in. And you will see that the fish is a dominant metaphor here, which represents again water and thirst and all of the related connotations. So, we told again about the theme of flow of water, and this again is repeated later when they are traveling to Satara to meet his father, who's in Goregaon, as we are told, to build a water tank, and the water tank is also in the image of a fish itself. So as I said, one is forced as a reader to repeatedly deal with and understand the page itself, understand the page, and are forced not only to think about Bhim's struggle, but also to understand it through these images, like that of the fish, that of scorpion tail. So you can talk about like caste atrocities as kind of the poison that has filled this country, and these are the kind of poisonous people who are spreading hatred. So those are some of the details that come through the Gond art. So, and then we are told again and again related to water that for the touchable folks, one set of rules: for us, no water; for us, from public taps, no haircut from barber, no washing by the washerman. They would not touch our clothes even if we paid them doubles. Animals enjoy more freedom. And we are told because animals can go into water, as you can see inside the fish, you can see that the animals are there, and we are again reminded of the page before, where animals that they have brushes for the buffaloes and shears for the goat. They won't trim a maha's hair, they would rather cut his throat. Boys at the well, even beasts at trough, may drink till they burst. And you see the size of the animal here. But the village turns a desert when I try to quench my thirst. That this village becomes a desert space in that sense. So you will see that there is constant going back and forth, where images do not just restrict themselves to the page itself also. So in terms of referentiality, you will again have to keep going back and forth. As I said, the water theme of water appears again, and it will be instrumental for us to look at those pages. These boys, they they take the train and want to go to Goregaon, where their father is working. And so they board a train and they get down. To their surprise, the person who is supposed to come and pick them up does not arrive. So they end up trying to find a ride for themselves from this train station called Masur. So they are told that, oh, look, the station master is there, maybe he will help us. Everyone left. What are you waiting for? Hasn't anyone come for? And they say that, like, we have to go to Goregaon, we are waiting for our father. And he says that, oh, you look like you are from a good family, let's find someone to help these boys. Maybe my wife can take you in for tonight, I'll find out. So you boys are from, we are from Satara, all the way from Satara, and your family. And then young Bhim says that we are Mahars. And the moment they get to know, the entire equation changes. The helpful station master is not anymore helpful. Untouchables, who would have believed looking at you, I want you boys out of here, what are you doing? So as you can see, they are told that they look like they are from a good family, and this good family means that they are not from the lower castes. They don't look like they are from the lower caste. So there is a certain amount of stereotyping that how the lower caste is supposed to look like. And if you remember, one of the earliest panels that said that Bhim was not one of the worst of, as you can see, his father was already working, so obviously they had some means of financial stability, which is not exactly what the other Dalits and lower castes have access to. So therefore, they have clothes, and the visage of them is not exactly as the station master says, of those who can't afford it, and lower caste at this point cannot afford it. So thereby makes it easier also to identify them in that way, and also to continue the oppressive caste discriminations. And that's what we are told here, that oh, you don't look like that. And the moment he gets to know, he stops trying to help them. And you can see the animals again, and the way that they are drawn into the entire, they are drawn into the body of these boys. And you can see the animal here and animal there, the eyes being symbolic, the kind of surprise, the kind of anger that these boys have, that what happened, why would you do so? And then the elder brother says, oh Bhim, did you have to say we are Mahars, and now he's gone, I don't think anyone will come. And then one cartman actually comes up to take them around and take them to Goregaon. And again, he repeats the same thing, and you can see all of them are represented by the scorpion tongue, right? A scorpion tail. That oh, are you sure they're Mahas? They're dressed real nice, like Brahmins, they are told. So you can see the explicit nature of caste discrimination that exists here. So they talk about how they will be polluted, and these boys somehow get into the ride, and they pay double, but apparently it's causing him problems. And they again get thirsty because it's a long ride, and these are young people. They have food with them, but they don't have water. But now they are searching for water, and nobody will give them water. An hour later, they are on the road, dark. Night has it's night, and it's become dark, and everything is there, but then they can't get water. And the cartman tells them that, like, look, there's a place here. The toll man is a Hindu. Don't tell him you are Mahar. Say you are Muslims and try your luck if you want water. So what you get to see is that if they pretend to be Muslims, then they might actually get water. But if they say that they are Dalits, they are the same Hindu person, may not even help them. So it's better to be better to be Muslim, better to be any other person from any other community, or better to be an animal at this stage, is what Bhim is experiencing, but not to be a Dalit. So that's what they realize, that like we are Muslims. Who are you and where are you from? Nice try. I have no water here. There is water on the hill. If you want to go get it, and now sort of, so that I can this thing. So they somehow reach his father's place. But this experience again with the cart, as you remember in the first lectures on Bhimayana we are talking about, and Anand's commentary on it, that waiting for a visa again had that scene, that where traveling on the cart becomes a very important day for him, that he mentions in his narrative itself. So one can see that that how important and traumatic these events are, that this young boy's psyche is being shaped, that they are untouchable, and they should not be they should not be given water. They should not be part of the the village itself. In that sense, you start seeing a certain kind of a template that follows, and that template follows through this idea of thirst, and water becomes only a metaphor for many other things that are denied to them. For example, they are denied a haircut, they are denied many other basic rights, and that's why Ambedkar grows up to be a voice of these untouchables, as they are known, and goes on to be a prominent voice of the Dalits in India, and becomes a prominent philosopher and thinker of the downtrodden in that. Now, because these are events which early in his life tell him how humans and societies interact with each other, how caste is such an integral part of the entire system itself, how caste is so much an integral part of Indian society itself, and all of that is represented here. If you look at themes itself, travel is again difficult, that these boys cannot travel themselves because again people will find out that, oh, these are Mahars, and they will not let them board their vehicle, or they will like not help them wherever they wanted to go. And that happens again if you look at towards the end of it, page 81, you will see that Ambedkar is invited, and this is the third part of the book itself, where Ambedkar is invited to a certain place, where to Chalisgaon, and there is no Tonga wala to take him. There is no cart person to take him. So what the organizers have done is like found out someone who would probably manage it. And but what happens is, like at a culvert, the vehicle cannot find its balance, and then obviously Ambedkar falls down and is injured. And then he gets to know the reality of it. He asks the organizers, I still don't understand it. The Tonga must be going up and down every day. How come the driver did not know how to cross the culvert? We are Mahars, Baba Sahib. The Tongawalas would not drive you here. How could we insult you by making you walk? So my brother-in-law borrowed the Tonga from its owner and was trying to bring you home. And he had never driven a Tonga before? No, poor boy, he has broken his arms and 3 ribs. So we are told that how difficult mobility is for Dalits themselves. And even for a prominent figure like Baba Sahib, mobility is an issue. They cannot go where they want to in that way. So when later in the book, when they want to travel to a place and they want to go to a fort, they can't go in. Wow, that fort looks majestic. Look, a tank of fresh water. Let's first wash. I feel parched and dusty. No one seems to be around. And then they encounter that this is the area of the Muslims, and someone tells them this is the month of Ramzan, and most people are Muslims here. And now the Muslims come and they also ostracize them. They, it's untouchables, they have polluted the tank because these people touched the water, they have polluted the tank, and then a very intense argument ensues. Sir, how do we get permission to go into the fort? Sahibs, we are outsiders, we don't know your local customs. It was really our mistake that we encountered acted without inquiry. Sahib, we did not know that they would drink water only. We only just caught up with them. What are you? Who are you? Who are you? the untouchables have become arrogant, the Dheds have forgotten that their religion teaches them to remain low and degraded. Then the people you are staying who are to be blamed. They are from the untouchable village. The Dheds must be taught as lesson, and then abuses are hurled because they that they just wanted access to water. So therefore, water becomes a sight. Water is not only a metaphor here. Water is a sight for Dalit solidarity, obviously, that like people come together seeing that like, oh, we all wanted to do this. But also water becomes a site of oppression, site of hierarchy, site of ostracization itself, and you see that happening again and again. And throughout the book, you see that if the attack is not only towards Hinduism in that sense, in the middle section, the second one, where he comes back from Colombia, he wants to stay, find a house, he finds a place to stay with a Parsi by giving a fake name, and the Parsi ultimately throws him out. So so what he experiences from his childhood to his adult life is that it doesn't matter which religion people belong to. The Indian society seems to be discriminating against Dalits by denying access to basic things like water. And through that, we get to see how many fundamental things that they are denied to. Things like just mobility itself, which is a right of anyone in this country, they are being denied. And through these narratives, the question that is being asked is that the idea of nation that is so important in this course, that is being complicated. That are they part of the nation? What kind of nation is this which discriminates against its own people? And that's what Baba Sahib's primary concerns were, and from which comes out his one of his famous works called Annihilation of Caste, which is about moving away from such discriminatory practices itself, and which sets him against another major figure of Indian national struggle, which is Gandhi.